There's something about old buildings, especially the kind that once held human suffering. I never believed in ghosts, never believed that energy could linger after death. That changed the night I spent inside an abandoned county jail, a place locals called the Pit. I was doing a documentary on forgotten prisons. This one, though, it wasn't on any map. The sheriff's office had no record of it. When I arrived, the place looked dead, half buried in vines. The smell of mold and old iron hung in the air, like sweat that never fades. The heavy door screamed as I pushed it open. Inside, my flashlight caught rows of rusted, empty cells. The air was too still. Even my footsteps seemed to echo longer than they should have. I set up my camera in cell 12, ready to spend the night recording. I'd done this before, in hospitals and asylums. Nothing ever really happened until now. Around 1:17 a.m., a loud metallic clang echoed down the corridor. I pointed my flashlight, but saw nothing. Then, my equipment picked up static. I replayed the audio, slowed it down, and I swear to you, it sounded like a man saying, "Get out." I tried to rationalize it, but the more I listened, the clearer it became. Then my flashlight died. I sat in complete darkness, the kind of black that feels alive. I heard breaths that weren't mine. Then, a slow dragging sound, moving across the floor, closer and closer, until it stopped right outside my cell. Metal scraped, something touched the bars. I whispered into my recorder, "Who's there?" A distant, trembling voice replied, "You shouldn't be here." It wasn't my imagination. The temperature dropped so fast, my camera lens fogged over. Something brushed past my shoulder cold, electric, like static crawling across my skin. I got the flashlight to flicker on for a second, and in that brief moment, I saw a figure in the next cell. He wore an old prison uniform. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. But what froze me was the rope mark around his neck. Then darkness. I heard slow footsteps circling my cell. I shouted, "Who are you?" The steps stopped behind me, and I felt a breath against my ear. A whisper, "You're in my cell." I ran. I bolted down the corridor, but it seemed to stretch on forever, the exit never getting closer. I turned a corner, and my blood turned to ice. Every single cell had someone standing inside, all of them staring at me. Their mouths were moving, but I couldn't hear the words. And then, I saw him, again the man with the rope, Mark, walking straight toward me. That's when the lights came back on blinding white hand. Everything was gone. The hallway was empty. But when I looked back at cell 12, the door had closed by itself, and written on the wall, fresh and red, were 3 words, "You stayed here." I hadn't left the cell at all. I checked my watch. It still said 1:17 a.m. The hands were frozen. Then I heard it again, that dragging sound, but this time it was coming from behind the cell door. I walked closer, and inside, I saw myself, sitting on the bunk, head down, looking lifeless. The carvings on the wall were changing right before my eyes. They now read, "He never left." The figure in the cell slowly lifted its head. Its eyes were black, empty. And then it smiled at me. I stumbled back, dropping the flashlight. The bars on the cells were gone, the walls themselves shifting like something alive. Desperate whispers surrounded me, until one calm voice cut through them all. "Finish your sentence." I realized this place wasn't just haunted, it was alive, feeding on pain. Every time I tried to run, I ended up back at cell 12. I screamed, "What do you want from me?" The reply was soft, You wanted to know our story. In a flash, I saw it all. A riot, blood, and the man with the rope mark, hanged by guards to silence him. The building wasn't haunted by the prisoners. It was haunting them, keeping their suffering alive. And now, it was keeping me. Then, I was outside. The sun was rising. The entrance door was gone, just a solid brick wall. The local police later swore that building was torn down 30 years ago. But I know where I was.